Hello, friends. Welcome to another Thursday Night Live. Tonight, we're going to use one card layout, or we might actually do two card layouts, and look at them with two different stamp sets. So I'm going to make it with one stamp set, and I'm going to show you a sample using a different stamp set. We're going to be using both the Filled with Fun and the Filled with Cheer stamp sets tonight. So I'm really excited about this and excited to get started and share these cards with you. If you are here and watching live, give me a shout out. Let me know if you have seen these stamp sets. Let me know which one you like better, the Filled with Fun or the Filled with Cheer stamp sets. If you're watching the replay, special welcome to you as well. I love that y'all come later and watch the replays. So leave me a comment and let me know whether you prefer the Filled with Cheer or the Filled with Fun stamp set. Hello, Shannon and Mimi. So glad you guys are here. If this is your first time with me, hello, welcome, special welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist, because we all have one, by giving you lots of tips, tricks, and inspiration to create beautiful handmade cards and gifts using stamps, ink, and paper. And that's what we are going to do tonight. Shannon, you have the Filled with Fun. Awesome. All right, so here are the stamp sets. This is the Filled with Fun. Now, you are not going to find these stamp sets in any catalog. They are not in any catalog. Both of these stamp sets are only available online. The Filled with Fun has been out for a little while. It has some different celebration type things, birthday type sentiments and images in it. And it's basically like a little wagon that you can fill with presents or flowers. Just super, super cute. And then the Filled with Cheer stamp set just came out at the beginning of July, and it has this little melting snowman. It has some poinsettias and presents, and then it also has like a wagon, I don't know, maybe a sled, except it has space for wheels. It has wheels, so it's more of a wagon, I guess. The fun thing about these is that the Filled with Cheer, it does not have coordinating dies with it, but the Filled with Fun does have a coordinating die set. And you can see, once I get this open, that some of these dies are going to work with the Filled with Cheer as well. So this is going to cut out the lights. We have the ones for the wheels. We have the one for the wagon in there. So you can use them with both stamp sets, which is really cool. It kind of, uses your supplies even more. So all right, I'm going to set these aside. We're going to start by making a card with the Filled with Fun stamp set. And for this card, I'm going to be using the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper, which has a really fun duck stamp set that goes with it. I am not using the duck stamp set tonight, though. I'm using the Filled with Fun. But it has these really fun like duck pond images on here and lily pads and all sorts of great stuff. It's got really bright colors, some fish, all sorts of good stuff. So that's one side. And then when you flip it over, we of course have patterns. So there's some like flies and a plaid, and then just some basic patterns, some lily pads, all sorts of different stuff, some little fish, just a lot of different basic patterns. And that's what we are going to see. We're going to use we're going to use that tonight. Sorry, I got caught up with the comments. Hi, Mickey. Glad you are here live. All right. Let me see. What am I doing here, folks? We're getting started. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going to grab some white cardstock, of which I have lots of these little sheets. Because if you have been watching me lately, you have heard about my snafu. My snafu with cutting white cardstock. So I have a giant stack of these. I'm going to make my wagon yellow because when I was a kid, I had a yellow wagon. It might have originally been a red wagon. I don't know. It was originally like my sister's because I am the youngest. And so everything gets handed down to me. And when I was little, my babysitter's husband took this wagon that by that time was very rusted because my sisters are quite a bit older than I am. Sorry, trying to find my ink pad. And he took it and he sanded it and he repainted it. And it became a yellow wagon, and it had stickers on the side with my name on it, and I had it for years and years and years, until it eventually, my parents decided it had used its entire useful lifespan. So, all right, so I'm going to stamp some presents. I want to stamp a handle for my wagon too, and I'm trying to spread these out as much as I can so I can try to die cut multiple things at once. If they're too close, the dies will overlap. So I don't know. We'll see how I did. Usually I still get them too close, even when I try to get them far apart. All right, so I stamped the wagon and the wheels, and then I stamped the presents. The presents, I have to color those in. So we're going to do a little bit of coloring. I'm going to start by grabbing some Pretty in Pink Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to color my flag Pretty in Pink. And this is, of course, going to take me a minute. So anyway, yeah, so I made the wagon yellow because when I think of a little kid's wagon, I think yellow because that's what color my wagon was. Did you guys have wagons when you were little? Did you have a wagon? What color was it? Was it a red wagon or did you have a different colored wagon? It's always interesting, right? Sometimes there's all those things that we all had. All right, so we're going to color part of my little cake with some Pretty in Pink. And Shannon, you had a red wagon. All right. I add the dark Pretty in Pink just to add a little bit of shading in here. Come in. Around here. There we go. Kimberly, you had a red wagon as well. Yeah, the red wagons were very popular. All right, so we did that step. I'm going to put these Pretty in Pink ones away, and I'm going to grab some Daffodil Delight. And of course, I'll start with the light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to color the hubcaps yellow to match. And I think this present is going to be yellow. And this bow, we're going to spread out the yellow a little bit. The coloring is the part that takes the longest. All right, so for the cake, I'm going to color every other slice with this light Daffodil Delight. So I'm coloring every other, not slice, that's not the word I want to use, the stripes, right? I'm going to color the flames too. And then I'm going to come in with the dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color the other slice dark. So we're keeping it just tone on tone stripes. But those two markers are enough different that that's going to create a nice stripe look. You don't have to worry too much about this bottom. That's going to get kind of cut off. We'll add some shading in here on our bow. And some shading in here on my present. And we'll be good to go on to the next color. Oops, I'm going to put some in here too. There we go. All right, so we'll put the Daffodil Delight away. And let's grab some Melon Mambo. Some Melon Mambo. I'm going to color this bow over here, Melon Mambo. So there we go. And I'm using the light to start with again. And then I'm going to color this present right here, Melon Mambo too. We're getting there. So, all right, and then we'll come in with a little dark Melon Mambo, and I'm going to add some shading in here. Kind of the under parts of the bow and towards the center. There we go. And then up here under the bow, I just like to think like, where would it probably be a little bit darker, or where do I want to add a little bit definition? So there we go. There's our Melon Mambo. So one last present. I think I'm going to do this last present in Granny Apple Green, I think, and Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to start by doing the present in Pretty Peacock, because Pretty Peacock's pretty dark. I don't want to get too much of it. All right. We'll add a little bit of shading on there. There's our Pretty Peacock. And now we'll come in with the light Granny Apple Green and color this with light Granny Apple Green for our bow. And then it's going to be time to die cut after we get this done. I'm going to do just a little bit of dark in here. Just add a little bit of shading. There we go. All right. So there's my presents and my birthday cake. Hello, Joan. Welcome. And now I am going to grab my cutting base and we'll see what we can do. I think I probably messed up on the presents because there's a little bit extra on there. And so I'm not going to be able to cut the wheels at the same time. Oops, that's not the presents. That's the flowers. All right, here we go. So let's see, maybe we can, because you don't want your dies to overlap at all. It will kind of mess things up. I think it's okay. I think we can do it. All right, so we're gonna get all these pieces on here. And my wagon. And then I'll make sure that I get them all in the right spot. We're gonna use a bunch of sticky notes and stick these down. So let's get this over here towards the edge. Pull out my sticky notes and start giving them a stick. Everything's stuck in spot. All right, and I do use the sticky notes more than once, but then they pile up on my table. And so I regularly pick them all up and put them in the trash because I get annoyed having sticky notes sitting around. So they're all like, usually I have a bunch stuck to my table. All right. Yay. We're going to cut all these pieces in one fell swoop. So I'm going to get the top, my other number 3 plate, and I am going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. Whoa. Give it a good turn. Got to use a little muscle there. All right. So pull all these pieces off. They're all stuck. I'm going to get out my little bowl and stick these all in my little bowl so I don't lose them. All right. So there's all those fun pieces. Now, for the sentiment on this card, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Different, but not different, because they took away my favorite cloud punch. Normally, I probably would have just pulled out the cloud punch and did that, but I really wanted to have some clouds on here. So I grabbed the Bright Skies dies, and I'm going to use the Bright Skies because this has a whole bunch of clouds. So I'm going to use this cloud right here and this little cloud and then this cloud as well. And we'll cut this out. We'll run those through. Don't worry if your die cutting machine makes a big thunk noise. That is perfectly normal. All right, I'll pull these out. This one I don't like because they get stuck in there. So we'll take your pick tool and pry that out. All right, there we go. And now we can start assembly work. Time to assemble. All right, so I have, my base is going to be Daffodil Delight to match my wagon. And I have a piece of the designer series paper. I picked the two kind of gray pieces. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I have a piece of white that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I'm layering with white, which normally I don't layer with white, right? Normally, I don't know. Don't always think of layering with white. So, but in this card, it kind of works. So we're going to add a little white layer on there. And then I have a piece of the darker gray, and I'm going to put this on the bottom so it kind of makes, you know, like some ground under there. So I don't have a floating wagon. Michelle, you almost missed it. I'm glad you made it. All right, so this will go down here. Super cute. And I'm going to take my wagon, I'm going to grab the wagon, and I'm going to adhere my presents and stuff to the wagon. So I'm going to just put a little bit of green glue just along this bottom edge. And then we'll just pop the wagon right over top. Make sure everything fits. There we go. So all that's in there. Then I'll go ahead and I'll flip this over because I'm going to put this on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And to kind of reinforce that seam right there, I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals right over the top of it. So we'll probably have way, way, way more dimensionals than we need on this. But that's okay. I'm happy with that. Stampin' Dimensionals make me happy. I'm actually going to pull out some minis to put on the flag so it doesn't get squished. All right. Hello, Sharon and Marilyn. So glad you guys are here. So I'll pull the backs off my dimensionals. And we'll adhere the wagon to our card. Well, it's not even fully to the card, just to this bit here. And I'm going to put this so the bottom of the wagon is just above kind of that horizon line that I created. All right, because then we're going to add the wheels. And I have found that you can put one dimensional in the middle of each wheel. Works pretty well. And then we can put the wheels on our little wagon. So I'm trying to make sure that there we go. And here's the other one. There we go. Oh, so cute. Now the handle I am going to put on flat. So I'm just going to put some green glue on here. Try to not get too much because it's very thin. And this, I'm just going to slide it in here and up the side there. just like that. Now, my clouds. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the clouds. So I'm using the sentiment that says celebrating someone special. And I'm going to stamp this in some pretty peacock to match that one pretty peacock present. We're going to pull that pretty peacock in just a little bit. So I'm just going to ink this up and stamp it right on my cloud, which fits very nicely. And then this cloud is going to go on here, but I want to put this on my card front first so I kind of get a sense of where my clouds are landing, because my clouds are going to go off the edge just a little bit. So there we go. Let's add this to the front. Again, I'm just using green glue. You can, of course, use whatever adhesive you want. I like green glue because it gives me just a little bit of wiggle room to move stuff. And it's nice and strong. So there we go. Then I'm going to add my big cloud with the sentiment. But when I add this, I'm going to leave kind of this area open right here because I'm going to slide the other clouds underneath. So while normally I would fill this all, kind of fill it in with dimensionals, I'm not going to. Because sometimes I find it easier to put the thing that's in front down first before I put the things that are behind it. So, and I'm going to slide this under my cake just a little bit. And off the edge just a little bit. There we go. And then we can put these other two clouds. I think this one's going to go about here. And this one's going to go in here. It's kind of a cloudy day. But they're big, fluffy clouds. Michelle, you're liking this? Wait till I show you. I'm going to show you the card that I used with the same layout. Oops, I put that on the wrong side. With the same layout, but with the Filled with Cheer stamp set. All right, so this is going to go over here. And of course, if you like this stamp set, we're going to be using this for the August online card class. And you can get the free card kit with all the cardstock and things that you need to make these cards. You can get that for free when you order at least $75 in product. So before shipping and handling and tax through me in July. So that can be one order or multiple orders. But when you order at least $75, then you're going to get the card kit for next month's card class, and they will be different cards. But you'll also get the tutorials for these cards. These will be the bonus cards. There's going to be 6 bonus cards. So you get the tutorials for these and the tutorials for the monthly card class. So lots of tutorials for you. Lots of ideas for this stamp set. All right. Let's do a little embellishment. Don't go anywhere. We got to embellish. I'm using these 2024, 2026 shimmer dots, if I can figure out how to open them. And this is like multiple partial packets because I am running out. Well, I'm not running out, but the way things happen, I ended up with multiple partial packets. Like this is left over from a card kit or something. So I'm trying to use stuff up. Like this drives me nuts to have multiples that are partially used. Oh, all right. So I'm gonna just pop these in here. Let's add a big one and a little one and maybe a big one up here at the top. Kind of tuck it in under the cloud. And then another little one up there. And maybe we'll add one more big one down kind of below the cloud. There we go. All right. So there is our Filled with Fun card. Isn't that fun? Ah, it is definitely filled with fun. I just love this. Just a great birthday card to send to someone. So now I'll show you what I made with the Filled with Cheer. So for this one, I used the Iconic Celebrations designer series paper. This is also available online. You can see it's like the exact same layout. But now we have, more wintry colors, and we have poinsettias in our basket, and we have snowflakes back here, and we have a Christmas sentiment. So same layout, two different stamp sets, two different cards with a kind of a little bit different feeling to them, but so much fun. It's a nice, bright, cheery card. It is, isn't it? Shall we make another one? Because I want to show you the this Filled with Cheer stamp set too. So we're going to make another one. This time we're going to go the other direction, and I am going to make the Filled with Cheer stamps, the Filled with Cheer card, and then I'll show you the Filled with Fun card that matches it. So again, for this, I am using the Iconic Celebrations pattern paper, which there's like birthday candles in there, and hearts, and trees, and candy canes, and acorns, and kind of fall leaves, and I think those are berries, more trees, doves, snowflakes, pumpkins, and the back has more. We have a plaid, we have small trees, stars, stripes, plaid, stripes, dots, twigs. I want to say twigs, pine boughs, leaves, champagne glasses, fireworks, dots. So all sorts of good stuff in there. That's the Iconic Celebrations. I keep forgetting the name. Iconic Celebrations. All right, so I'm going to start with, I have the pieces over here. Let me pull these out. So I have a piece of basic white thick cardstock for the base. And this one I cut 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold this in half and give it a good squish. And then I'm going to cover the front of it with a piece of the Mossy Meadow stripe from that Iconic Celebrations pattern paper. And this is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So this is going to cover the whole front. Just like this. So much fun. All right, here we go. And then I have a piece of basic white. This is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. So it's kind of a weird size. 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to stamp the snowman on here. And I'm going to kind of stamp them in the center with some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So this has a snowman and a Christmas tree and a sled. And it's like the snowman is melting. He is melting away. I'm going to stamp him here. There we go. So cute. All right, then we got to color him. So I'm going to start with some Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends to color the tree. To very carefully color the tree without coloring the Christmas ornaments, which takes effort. So it's a very, very green Christmas tree. I just feel like this melting snowman is just so cute. And when you see the sentiment, it's going to make sense. I hope. I hope it makes sense. I think it's fun. I have a fun little card. Makes me think of Frosty the Snowman. Of course. All right. And boy, oh boy, tonight is just bringing back a flood of memories of my babysitter that I had when I was a kid, because her husband fixed my wagon and painted it yellow. And then this is making me think of her because she collected snowman. And every year at Christmas, she would pull out her snowman collection. and they would be, well, she had like a special shelf above one of the entryways between the rooms, and it would just be filled and filled with snowmen. So, all right, now I'm going to come in with some dark and add just a little bit of shading in here, just around kind of the edges of the leaves, the branches. I don't know what we're going to call them, kind of where there's lines. There we go. All in here. Just giving a little bit more definition to our Christmas tree. There we go. We can put those blends away. I'm going to grab my pecan pie. We'll come back to the Christmas ornaments in a minute, but I'm going to use the pecan pie and start coloring my sled in the light pecan pie. So color, color, color. Trying to go kind of fast on my coloring, because y'all know me, I get very, I feel like I'm taking too long when I color. So, all right, so I'm just coming in with the dark and I'm kind of going over the lines in the sled. So instead of going and adding shadow, I'm just going over the lines that are in it. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow up here. There we go. And then I'm going to pull out some Pebbled Path, because Pebbled Path is my favorite black alternative for Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to color the runners and the parts that would probably be metal with some Pebbled Path. And I'm just using the light on this. I'm also going to come in, since I have the Pebbled Path out right now, we'll add some Pebbled Path to his hat. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of shading in here. There we go. All right, so there's his hat. Whew. Let's grab some Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to color the band of his hat, Cherry Cobbler. And his scarf is going to be Cherry Cobbler. Just some quick coloring. Gotta breathe while we color. And I'm going to color a couple of the Christmas ornaments in Cherry Cobbler, or lights. Maybe they're just lights, not ornaments. And then we'll come in with the dark and add just a little bit of shading. Oops, I got it on my snowman. My scarf is kind of running into my snowman. Oh, wow. It's all good. All right, let me see. We got to do his nose. Let's grab the pumpkin pie, color his nose with little light pumpkin pie, and come in with the dark pumpkin pie, add some of the lines to it. There we go. And then, let me see. Let's grab the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to grab the light Misty Moonlight and color a couple of these lights with the light Misty Moonlight. And then I want the light Daffodil Delight. And we'll do another one of those. And our little star. And then finally, I'm going to grab the light Balmy Blue and color my last colorful lights light Balmy Blue. And I'm going to do some outlining around my snowman. So on the inside of my snowman here, I'm just going to come at it with just a little bit of light balmy blue and then underneath them too. Just where there's lines, I'm adding some light balmy blue. There we go. And I'm going to grab my color lifter and just go over that a little bit because I want to kind of smush it out even more. Because snow is white, not blue. But it just felt like it needed a little bit of color. So we'll just color over that with the color lifter just a little bit. There we go. He's so cute. All right, let's stamp our sentiment. So the sentiment's going to be on a strip here. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment with the tuxedo black memento as well. And the sentiment says, a warm hello. See why I think that's funny? Because it's warm and the snowman is melting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, there's my warm hello. And I'm going to use that light balmy blue and just come in and add like a little melted snow under my hello. Pull that in just a little bit more. There we go. Now, I do want some clouds on here too. You guys, I love clouds. I don't know what it is. I love clouds. Like, I don't know what to do with the sky because it's like, I don't want to color the whole sky blue. That would be weird. So what do? I grab some clouds. Just add clouds to it, right? All right. Let's see what we can fit on here. I really just need this part of it. There we go. We'll use this piece. And I'm going to cut these out using my cut and emboss machine. Now, in addition to these cards, so I have this card and then I have a matching card with the Filled with Fun. I have another set of cards. I'm not going to share how to make those, but I'm going to show them to you too. So lots of ideas. Oh, that shifted on me a little bit. Hopefully it's still big enough. All right. Pop that out. There's my cloud. Here's this little cloud. And for these clouds, I'm going over the stitching with some balmy blue. We got a theme. We got a theme going down here. All right. Just help them pop off the page a little bit. And I'm going to go over this with my color lifter as well. You know what I want to kind of bring the puffiness in, give it a little bit more shape. There we go. Kind of forgot that while I was outlining. So now I'll go over this with my color lifter, mush it out a little bit more. Make it hopefully a little bit lighter as it dries. There we go. And now we can start assembling this card. So we have our card base. I have a piece of cherry cobbler. This cherry cobbler is 4 7/8 by 3. Actually, no, it is 4 and, let me see, 13/16 by 3 and an eighth, I think. No, 3 3/8. I don't remember. It's 1/8 inch bigger side to side and 1/16 inch bigger top to bottom because I'm going to make one side flush. So the top is going to line up and we're not going to have a border at the top. Just like that. And then this goes on my card. And again, this is going to line up at the top. Instead of being stuck in the middle, it's going to be a little bit different. So there we go. And I'm offsetting it just a little bit. Get that lined up at the top. And then I'm going to add some clouds up here. So this little half cloud, put it down first. And its top is going to go right up to that edge. That's why I only needed a little bit. And I got some glue on my fingers. So I'm grabbing some hand sanitizer and just wiping that off. Then, let me see. I'm going to put the other cloud on with some dimensionals. Ooh, you know what? I meant to cut the edge. Well, I can cut it now. That's okay. Because instead of going off the side this time, I want it to go up to the edge. So I'll just trim that. Normally I would have put it on first and then trimmed it to match. We can cut it first. It's okay. It'll work this way too. So there we go. There's our clouds. And now for the sentiment, this is 3/4 inch. The white is 3/4 inch by 4 1/4. And then the cherry cobbler is 7/8 inch by 4 1/4. So it's going to go all the way side to side. And I'm going to adhere the white to the cherry cobbler first. There we go. And then I'm gonna do a little tricky trick on this. I'm gonna put some Stampin' Dimensionals in the center. But I don't like it when it goes all the way to the edge with Stampin' Dimensionals. I don't know, it seems kind of weird to me. So I'm gonna actually put some adhesive on the ends. So it's gonna kind of bow. And this is gonna go right down here. And we'll just hold those ends in place. And then the center kind of pops up. And then we just have to do a little embellishment. I'm going to grab some little gems for this. Let's see where they go. There they are. So these are the 2023-2025 in color opaque sparkle dots. And I've hardly used them. We're going to add the blue ones. These are probably actually boho blue, but they kind of look like the balmy blue, so they work well. One up there. And one there. And then one more, so we have 3 because I like 3s. And there we go. There's our snowman card that says, "A warm hello, melting in the snow." Too much fun. All right, let me show you the Filled with Fun card that matches this one. So here we go. Instead of using the wagon, the presents just are on top of the sentiment there. So we have the same layout, 2 very different cards though. So, oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. I had so much fun with this set. All right. I have 2 more cards to show you. I just have to figure out where I put them. All right, here we go. Here are the other 2 cards. So here we have a wagon full of flowers. And check out this circle back here. So that circle back there, I cut it out of a piece of that duck pond, the Lily Pond Lane. I'll show you what I cut it out of. I can find it. This piece right here. So I used my stylish shapes and I cut the circle from this area right here. So it looks like my wagon has sky in the back and then grass underneath, which was so fun. So there we go. And then this one, I actually adhered 2 different pieces together. I almost feel like this is too busy. I wish that I would have used maybe the greenery, the pines for the background and the plaid for the circle, but it's okay. I like it. So there we go. We have a wagon. And what's really cool is these lights right here, the lights and these flags, that uses the same dye. So really, really cool. All right. Ellen, you can't wait to make them. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you guys like this. And of course, I'm going to be making 3 more cards with the Filled with Fun stamp set for the August online card class. So we're going to have 3 more ideas with this amazing stamp set. So I hope you had fun tonight. That's it for me for this Thursday evening. I will be back next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, we are doing techniques. So terrific techniques next week, Tuesday. Watch for the supply list on Monday afternoon. If you need the Filled with Fun or the Filled with Cheer stamp set, the link is in the description to the video, so you can pop over and grab those. And otherwise, have a great weekend. I will see y'all next week. Thanks again for joining me.